Welcome. Welcome to my live stream. I have no idea whether anything's happening. My little chat window, which is normally on my computer, is missing. It's MIA. And I'm not sure how to get it back. But I do have my live chat open on my phone, so in theory I should be able to see if anyone's in the room and see if they want to ask any questions. I'm just not sure why or where my chat went to. Normally it just pops up automatically with my YouTube Studio. For some reason it's not. So I'm not sure what the deal is. Hi there. Hi there, how are you? Can you hear me okay? I'm still trying to figure out this new streaming software. My little chat window normally pops up on my computer, didn't pop up, so I'm working between my phone and the computer screen. But I'm here. Kind of frustrating. Oh, there we go. Now my chat's here. Hello. Okay, so I found my chat. I'm not sure why it disappeared, but there it is. Okay, good. So I took your advice today and made just a general reading recording that I'll release on Sunday, and I feel good about it. How are you doing? I have been fighting pollen all day today. I'm all stuffed up and itchy. Shall we see what your it factor is, what your secret sauce is, where your charm comes from? Venus is definitely the ruler of Friday, and they're very much about, what's lovely about you, what attracts people to you, what are the graces that Venus has bestowed upon you. course, Venus is a flatterer too, so. Hey Zara, how are you? Okay, let's see what Deva, I don't know if it's Deva or Diva. I want to say both. Let's see what Deva's charm factor is. What are the gifts of allure and charm that Venus gave her? What does she have as far as like the flirtation factor? Okay, here we go. Let's get the all gifted out of the way. Ooh, 7 of Cups. Temperance. And King of Cups. Well, I think that right away the first thing that jumps out at me is you have a lot to offer in the realms of sensuality and emotion. So you can help bring that out in other people. You can, and you would have a lot of suitors. It's 10 p.m. Are you on the East Coast, Sarah? Also, another thing you had to offer is just this ability to to flow with things and to bring energies together. Like, you have a charm that makes people feel at ease and feel like the conversation flows really easy and the energy flows real easy with you. And then finally, you have that stability that comes from the King. So you're not like this flibberty-gibberty person that they're all cute and everything, but there's not much substance to them. You have a sense of that there's substance to you. So I would say that's your charm, that you offer a lot of love and connection with people, and you offer the ability to just flow with things and to connect and blend with another person, and that you have, that you're no slouch, you're a serious person that someone can count on to be a good partner. So, Deva, why are you leaving Peru? Why are you thinking of going back to Guatemala? Zara, you want to have one of these too? Shall we talk about your secret sauce? All right. So Zara is about tapped out. It's Friday. She's had a long, busy week, but she still wants to know, what gifts did Venus bestow upon her? What is her charm? What is her secret sauce? What makes her attractive to others, both romantically and other ways, and and as a friend, as a human being? Let's see what it says. I changed up my setup, you may have noticed. Alright. Huh. Even though I shuffled, you also got the 7 of Cups. The 6 of Swords. And the 4 of Wands. So your special sauce, well, you have that same thing that that Deva has. You have this way of just like, you're like a real source of emotional connection with people. You have a lot to offer, and you would have a lot of people who are attracted to you because of your warmth. But what's different about you is that first of all, you are a negotiator, so you're someone that others can talk to and get advice from of a spiritual nature, advice of a business nature. So you're kind of like a confidant for people. And that's what people appreciate about you. So that's your secret sauce, my friend. You mean because of the property, Devin? Are you from Guatemala originally? I don't know. I mean, I would like to visit Peru, but the struggle I have is because of my age and my health. I'm worried about the elevations. You know, the thin air. And Zara, I was just telling Deva that I took her advice, and I did create a pre-recorded pick your adventure general reading that'll come out on Sunday. You're welcome, Zara. Yeah. So you're thinking about going back to Guatemala? Is that someplace is that where you're from, or is that just someplace you've stayed before? Oh, okay. All right, Zara, have a good evening. Yeah, but the impression I got is that in order to get to the cities, you have to go. I don't know. I've never been there, so it would be hard to say. But I just don't know that I'll be. Okay. See you later. I don't know if that's going to be someplace that just passed through, or whether it's someplace that I might stay for a little while. We'll have to see. I think I started to tell you, I think I did tell you, I went outside to water plants, and I just got a whole bunch of allergens, and I took something for it, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything. Yeah, one of the things, it's not as much of a priority as it was earlier on, or it's not as high up on the priority list, but I really was looking for a place that's a temperate climate. Yeah. When I lived in China, it was very hot and very humid most of the year. And here where I live, it's hot and humid in the summertime, but not as bad as China. So I prefer someplace temperate, which is why I originally looked at Medellin and looked at Colombia and looked at Panama, up in the mountains in Panama. But we'll see. I'd probably just end up going to Lima, and then that's it. I'll be in Lima, and that would be the only place. The thing about Ecuador, because I've looked at Ecuador too, but I don't know if it's like a year ago or maybe less than a year ago, they had electrical blackouts because because Ecuador depends on hydropower, and they were having a drought. So people were having brownouts and having their power shut off. Yeah. So I did look into that lake before. I think we talked last night. I was talking about how I'd contacted an Airbnb host about staying there. This was a while ago. It was earlier this year. I didn't actually follow through on it. Is that where you would go if you were to go back to Guatemala? Yeah, it would be nice to be on the lake. Like I talked about last night, I know that it's a huge lake, and that like there's all these villages all around it that have like specialties, like they specialize in something. Yeah. But what made you decide to leave and go to Peru? Just job opportunities? There's such a huge lag, it kind of bugs me. Yeah, although that is kind of like out, you have to like take a bus, don't you? Like drive into the jungle for hours to get to it. I had a friend who was really into the Mayan culture. You were invited to Peru. Well, that's nice. It's nice to be invited someplace. So you made some friends. There's the ancient Mayans, and then there's the modern Mayans, right? The people who are native to that part of the world. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Isn't that lake like the deepest lake or something? At something? Oh, I have. I actually, I've done Google Earth in a few cities, Medellin and Guatemala City and all that. Yeah, it's a good way to kind of check an area out without actually living there. You know. I originally was really hardcore wanting to go to Medellin, but and I still may. Um, the issue I have with them is that there are some areas I'd want to live in an area where it's relatively flat, not where there's a lot of hills, a lot of steep hills. But I went and looked on Google Earth, and I was around a college or something like that, and it was a lot of steep roads, and it looked very desert-like and hot. Ooh, that's deep. And I grew up in the desert. I don't want to live in the desert. I will. I'll look it up. There is a right near the airport, La Aurora, I believe it is. There in Guatemala, there is a hostel that looked like a nice, like, because I think if I fly in, I would want to stay the night in like someplace close to the airport before I move on from there. And the man that I talked to that had the Airbnb on the lake, he was very helpful and told me how to get to the lake from there, and he was even willing to like hire a taxi to come get me, which was nice. I think back when I was looking, I had a job that was a lot more dependent on having good internet, but now it's not as important because I'm not like teaching like I was on. I was teaching online, and then when the school year started this year, I decided not to continue with it. And I think I'm probably going to, because Deva, I think I've talked about this. I'm going to be 64. I have a very different attitude towards things like time and energy. Yeah, but it's close to the airport, and I want to stay someplace close to the airport the first night I get there, because I would be arriving fairly late at night. So where was I going with that thought? I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, just that I'm a lot more aware of my time and energy than I used to be when I was young. Well, but see, if I arrive like at 11 o'clock at night, I don't want to get in a taxi and drive all the way to Antigua. It seems like it's a pretty good jaunt, like 45 minutes, right? I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Antigua. 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 That's the way I want to say it, Antigua. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I would like, arrive, I don't know, at 11 o'clock at night, go someplace nearby, spend the night there, and then go to Antigua. And check out that area. There is this is not Guatemala, this is Colombia, but there's a lady in Rio Negro, which is a suburb of Medellin, and it's something like Nana does, it's something Nana something, but she's an older lady, she's older than me, that retired there, and I'm not going to do it because I think it's too expensive, but she offers this for $375 US. She will like show you around all the different neighborhoods and give you the 411 on those areas. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But that's in Colombia. But as I watched her, I mean, it was real obvious to me that she had a lot more resources than I do, that she was coming from a different point of view, because she kept posting about how she got this $1 million view for a steal because she sold her house in New York City and went and bought a house there, and that's just not, I'm not in that echelon of people. Yeah, it definitely would be definitely want to go spend time at the lake, and also in Antigua, in Guatemala, and then whatever else that might be worthwhile. I think that the U.S. Travel website has Guatemala as use caution or something, or no, reconsider travel, whatever that level of caution is. But, that doesn't mean that every single corner of Guatemala is dangerous. I mean, pretty much every country, it seems like it says that it's use caution or reconsider travel. The embassies, you can, and I do this, you can let them know where you are. But as I've said before, nothing can happen till I renew my passport. That's got to happen. So are you for sure going back to Guatemala, or are you just thinking about it? Yeah. From what I've observed, there's some place that are slightly cheaper than what I'm paying now, but besides my housing, my second highest bill is feeding myself. It's just crazy expensive here to eat, and I know it's cheaper and healthier food. Yeah. Yeah, I've been in places where you have to be aware. I mean, I've been in the Philippines, which is there's a lot of petty crime there. And you just have to remember that you are a visitor to someone else's country too, I mean, I don't know that my neighborhood's particularly any better than any other neighborhood. I mean, even today, some guy come roaring up to my neighbor's house and was yelling and screaming with that woman in her yard. Yeah. You're not sure about anything right now? Wow. Is this because of that land deal? It's horrible not to know what you're going to do next. I like to have a plan. It took me a long time to get used to being retired, because you spend your whole life getting up and going to work. Well, maybe you need to go the other way. Maybe you want to check out Ecuador, Chile, not Chile, or go across the other side of the continent and check out Uruguay or Venezuela. I think I told you a friend of mine is going to Venezuela for a few months in the winter. They're from Pittsburgh, so they want to get away from this cold. Yeah, so you're looking to settle down someplace and get your residency. Yeah. You got to be comfortable with ambiguity, that's for sure. You know more than I do because you've been in Guatemala and you've been in Peru. Where else have you been? And I'm assuming your Spanish is good. If you're not fluent, you're probably pretty good too. I have enough Spanish to get by, just because I've lived in parts of the United States where there are a lot of Spanish-speaking people. But that's the least, it's so funny, people are always so worried about the language barrier. That is the least of my worries. It's never been a problem communicating with people. Yeah. So you feel like you're pretty fluent then? That's good. So you can have an actual conversation with people. So you learned Spanish in Guatemala. So do you mean as an adult when you moved to Guatemala, or do you mean that you like grew up there where you learned it from being a very young child? Devaya. Is it Devaya maybe? See, now I'm Devaya, like Vaya con Dios. And look at you now. I can say where is, what is, who, I have or I want, what time is it, how do you say, so I have a little bit more than gracias under my belt. It's like, ¿Dónde es las baños? Or is it el baños? I don't know. I had 4 years of French in high school, which is sometimes helpful and sometimes confusing. That's very brave of you to go there not speaking any of the language at all. What made you decide to go there? I mean, what was the final, I guess, straw that made you decide to go? Were you thinking you were gonna like slow travel, or? Yeah. Actually, the guy that I was talking to about renting an Airbnb there, he has a Spanish school. Because back then when I talked to him, though, I was a whole different situation for me. I was teaching online every night and yada yada, etc., etc. But I've been looking at flights in March, right around my birthday. El baño, los baños. Okay. The bathroom, the bathrooms. The pictures. Did I say it wrong? The pictures? Yeah. I don't think I understand your comment, the pictures. Donde está la biblioteca? I know my accent is horrible. I think that's why I took French instead of Spanish, because I'm much better at. Oh, the pictures. So you saw pictures of it, and that's what made you decide to go. But I mean, I don't know where you came from originally. I'm assuming the United States. Did you come from the United States originally? What made you? I mean, you just one day you're walking down the street and you saw a picture of Guatemala and you said, "I'm gonna give up everything I have here and go to Guatemala." Oh, okay, yeah. So are you? I hope I'm not being too nosy, but like, are you retired, or are you like digital nomad, or are you independently wealthy? What made? I mean, oh, someone talked about it and you were just like, sure, why not? You're quite the adventurous person. Did you do any research about it? Like, did you watch YouTube videos or join Facebook groups? I've watched a lot of YouTubers. They're really, the struggle I have with them is that these people have a much better financial situation when they left than I have ever had. So it's a little unrelatable. Yeah, it always is, right? Um, I tried like Facebook groups, like joining groups that are like specific, like Panamanian expats or whatever. And what I found is that people were super, I mean, they'd start out okay, and then they'd be super mean and rude. And I'm like, I'm not about that. So I would like to do that also. I would like to travel and live cheap. I already live cheap because there is no other option. There is no other option. There's a lady that I started to watch. I'm not going to watch her anymore because what she says is there's a lot of conflicting information in what she says. But I was watching this younger person who, her whole spiel is like, you can leave the United States and live better even if you're poor. But when she talks about owning a home. She talks about how they got rid of a lot of their stuff, but they still had 3 like storage containers worth of stuff that a family's keeping for them. She talked about how much cash they had to go, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know what your definition of poor is, but that's not poor where I come from. That's middle class. Maybe poor where she lives, I don't know. Anyway, all that to say that I have a hard time relating to the people who post stuff on YouTube as like about traveling and living abroad, because I feel like I'm getting a skewed point of view. I'm getting a point of view from people who are in a different place than I am. You mean to find a Spanish school like teaching English? Devaya, you already have got me feeling more positive about leaving. Like it's not that I never thought it was undoable. It's just that I feel like I can't get straight information, and the only way to get that straight information is to go there, I guess. I bet your English gets really good when you live with a local family. Or not your English, your Spanish. Penjudge. I think there's a guy on YouTube that's retired there. I think the name of his channel is There Must Be More, like Moore, because his last name is Moore. Well, we'll see. It's like I've said, I actually need to go there in order to do that. And there are other ducks I have to get in that row before I can make that move. Got to get that passport. That's $130. So that right there is a couple months of saving money. And I need to have some extra money so I can pay like first and last security and all that. It's just a lot that has to happen. Hey, let me ask you a question. So when you flew to wherever you went first, did you get a one-way ticket? Yeah, I guess the ideal situation would be to find a place I'm content to stay for a while until I can get a residence, a retirement, a pension, or a visa, and a residency, so that I have that place that I can go back to, and then maybe travel around. We'll see. We shall see. Well, I'm guessing that I'm really curious to see how things go with your suggestion on doing the pre-recorded general readings, because what I'm finding is that ever since school started back in session, I just haven't had any people coming into the chat anymore. And it could be that I'm starting too early in the evening, but it's got me wondering if every single one of those people was a kid under 18. I don't know, or most of them were. That's okay. So were you living down there when COVID shut down the world? I think probably the number one concerning factor at this point, because I feel like I've addressed all the other issues, is that, and it's an important one, that if I leave, I will never be able to come back. I cannot afford to live in this country. I'm surprised I've afforded as long as I have, and I know that if I leave, I will not have the wherewithal to come back. So that's an important consideration. I mean, say what you will, it is my country of origin. Oh, you don't have to, Devaya. I think that's Devaya. That sounds right to me. You don't have to. Don't worry about it. I actually probably I'm going to go ahead and sign off because I'm not feeling all that great because of my allergies, and it doesn't look like there's anyone coming in to the chat. What, if you don't mind me asking, what is your real name? You may have told me before, but I've slept since then. I will check it out for sure. I will check it out. You've been a great help with the information on Guatemala and information on Peru, and just like making that suggestion about the pre-recorded videos. Panajachel. I'm probably butchering that word. Well, you don't have to. I'm easy. I'm not, you don't need to worry about me. I'm not a nosy person. Just think it would be easier to say your name, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. Well, I'm going to go ahead and hit the road. I'm assuming it's evening where you are. Hope you have a nice evening, have a nice weekend. And I'm going to check out that city that you told me about and see what there is to see. Maybe I'll do Google Maps tonight and do a little street view there. That's fine. It is your information to do with what you will. You don't have to explain anything to me. All right. Well, I will hopefully see you again sometime soon, okay? If I ever get a ticket to Guatemala, I'll reach out and let you know.